Okay, so what we're going to do in this video is we're going to look at how we can solve a system of equations by substituting. So we're not going to graph, we're just going to use algebra. So we're going to do this with algebra. And it's something called substitution. Substitution means to replace. So we're going to replace something. So we're going to replace. So if over here, if you look, we have x equals 4 and y equals 2x minus 3. So I could graph these, and you still can if you want. I'm going to show you how to do them with algebra. So x equals 4 is very simple. We already know the answer. Remember when we have the answer, we have an x and a y. So our x is 4. We just have to figure out what the y is. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put the first equation, this 4, I'm going to replace that down here into the x. So I'm going to have y equals 2 times 4 minus 3. So I get y equals 8 minus 3. So y is 5. So I got my solution. Instead of graphing, I used algebra. So my x is 4 and my y is 5. So I'm going to try another one here. I have x equals negative 3, so that's my x. And all I have left to do is to find my y. So I'm going to put negative 3 in here. So y equals, there's nothing in front, so it's like saying 1 times negative 3 plus 1. So 1 times negative 3 is negative 3 plus 1. And you can use a calculator to do this. Negative 3 plus 1 is negative 2. So my y is negative 2. So I got my x and my y. Now we're going to look at some different ones. So these ones require a little bit more algebra. So this time it says y equals 6. And down here it says y equals 3x minus 12. So this 6 right here, I'm going to put in for the y in the second equation. So I have 6 equals 3x minus 12. Now I have to solve the equation. So to solve this equation, here is my variable. So what I'm going to do is I have to move the 12 because we have an x on this side and a number on this side. So we want to move this 12 with the number. We want to get the x on one side and the number on the other. So I'm going to move the 12. So I get plus 12. And I do plus 12 because I do the opposite. So over here, the minus 12 and the plus 12, they can cancel. And here I have 6 plus 12, which is 18, equals, and on this side I have 3x. Now the last step in solving this is I have to get rid of the 3, cancel, or I have to do the opposite of multiply by 3. So the opposite would be I'm going to divide by 3, and I cancel, so x equals 6. So up here, my x was 6, and my y, it was also 6. So that time they were the same value. Okay, we're going to try another one. Y equals 1, and y equals 2x plus 7. So this 1 is y. So I'm going to replace in the second equation right here, I'm going to put 1 here for the y. So I'm going to say 1 equals 2x plus 7. And again, this one is harder to solve because I have to move stuff around. So for this one, I'm going to do minus 7. These cancel, and I have 2x. So I have 2x here. And here I have 1 minus 7. So use a calculator. When you do that, it's negative 6. And then I need to divide. And these cancel. So I get x is negative 3. So my solution, x is negative 3 and y is 1. Okay, so let's try a couple more like that. Okay, so these last ones, we're going to keep doing the same thing. So you see where it says y equals 3? Well, I'm going to put that 3 in for the y. So I have 2x plus just 3 equals 11. So now I'm going to solve. So here's my variable, so I have to move this plus 3. So to move plus 3, I do the opposite, which is minus 3 and minus 3. And these cancel. And I have 2x equals 8. And then I divide by 2. And those cancel. And I have x equals 4 for my answer. So my solution would be 4 for the x, and the y is 3. Okay, let's try the one next to it right here. So if you look, x is negative 2. That means I'm going to put negative 2 in here for this x right here. So I have 3 parenthesis negative 2 plus 2y equals 4. So get out the calculator so you know what you're doing here. So this means multiply. So 3 times negative 2, I have negative 6 plus 2y equals 4. Uh-oh, my pen quit working. So equals 4. Then I have to do the opposite of minus 6, which is going to be plus 6. So I'm going to do plus 6. So plus 6. And I have to do plus 6 here. So these cancel. And I get 2y, sorry about my writing, my pen died, equals 10. And then you have to divide by 2. So if I cancel that, so I get y equals 5. So then my solution would be, my x was negative 2, so I'd get negative 2 and 5. So that would be my solution. Okay, so let's try this one down here. If you look, we're going to put the 4 in for the y. So you're going to have 3x minus 2 times 4 equals 22. And then you're going to have 3x, and you're going to do 2 times 4 is 8 equals 22. So now we want to get the x, so we need to move this 8. So we have to do the opposite of minus 8, which you're going to do plus 8 and plus 8, because you have to do it on both sides. And then remember, these two will cancel, and you're going to be left with 3x equals 30. And then your next step is to divide by 3 and divide by 3. So then we get 30 divided by 3, which is 10. So we get x equals 10, which means our solution is going to be 10 for the x and 4 for the y. Okay, the last problem that I have here, this one's a little tricky, and you're going to have one like this, so you just give it a try. Do you see here where it says y equals 2x? And then this one says y equals 2x plus 5. So that means this first equation, this 2x right here, this one, we're actually, we're going to put that 2x, we're going to replace this y right here with this 2x. So this 2x is going to go here. And I'm going to type it so you can see what it looks like. So it's going to be 2x equals 5x plus 6. And it's been a little bit since we solved problems like this. So what you need to do on this one, it's tricky because this one has the 6. So what you actually want to do is you want to subtract 5x because there's an x on one side and on the other, so we have to move them. So if I do that on that side, I'm going to subtract 5x here too. So when I do that, let me line these up better, like that. So when I do that, what's going to happen is these 5x's will cancel because they're one's positive, one's negative, and over here I'm going to be left with negative 3x equals 6. And then what you're going to do is you're going to divide by negative 3. And these cancel, and so x is equal, so 6 divided by negative 3 is negative 2. So x is negative 2. So that means your solution, your x is negative 2, but I still don't know my y. So I have to go back up to the first one. So I have 2 and I have x. Well, x was negative 2. So my answer for my y, I have to say, well, y equals 2 times negative 2, which is 4. So my y is 4. So now I can go back to my solution, which I had right here, where I know that x is negative 2. Oh, and I have the y wrong. That should be negative 4, because 2 times negative 2 is negative 4. So this should be negative 4. So my x is 2 and my y is negative 4. You have one question like this last one. That'll be the last question on your practice. Okay, so now you need to go to Canvas and find the practice and make sure you do the practice. Either use a whiteboard or get a piece of scratch paper to do that. Have a good day.